And it's a pleasure to welcome the very well-known Wendyl Nissen to Good Living. Thank you for joining me, Wendyl. It was nice to meet you.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I have to say, Wendyl, last night I sat at home on my couch, put on some Air Supply and ABBA, thought about my birthday today and the coming year, and read this book. And what a treat that was. It is
happy birthday.
fantastic.
I'm very privileged that you read it on the eve before his birthday.
But it really did. It made me think a lot, actually, about the way that we do things and how we do them and how you've changed that. So what was it that started it for you?
I think I just did... I'm a child of the 60s, and so girls were told you can do anything, really, in life, that whole sort of new movement. So I just went out and did everything, and by 40 I was absolutely exhausted. You know, I had a huge 12-hour day career, 5 children, I was on to my second marriage, mortgage, and I just thought, I'm going to live to probably 84, which is the average life expectancy for a woman in New Zealand, so for the rest of my life I'm going to make it fun and healthy and fulfilling. And I found that by going back 70 years or so to when my nana lived, that life was actually quite nice. Like, people talk about, oh, it was hard because they had to beat carpets and, you know, boil up the copper and stuff like that. But the way they lived was a much more peaceful and ultimately healthier existence than the one we live at the moment, with processed foods and chemicals in our cleaners and chemicals in our beauty products. So I just tried to live like it for a year, and I actually kept it going. I still do it.
I know.
It was such a lovely experience.
So was it hard to stop that life and then start this new one? Did you do it like a bit of cold turkey, or did you just
No, it was
ease
more
your way?
gradual, because I'd sort of been looking into it, and I'm a journalist, so I'm nosy and I research. So I had collected a whole lot of old books, you know, Aunt Daisy and all these old handy hints books and, you know, instructions for servants from the 19th century. So I'd kind of been developing it and thinking about it. So no, it was quite a natural progression, and it's really easy to do. I mean, I just lived by a few rules, that I don't eat anything that Nana wouldn't recognise, for instance.
That's a good one.
Which is kind of interesting to do when you're shopping in a supermarket. And people say, well, she wouldn't recognise an avocado. But I say, well, she would if she was in Israel.
Yeah. so it's okay.
So you just have to be a little bit, you know, but basically, yeah, little rules like that, and I found it quite easy to do.
Talk to me about your life with those 3 chickens, or 4 now, isn't it?
Well, actually, there's quite a few chickens in my house. I started the whole project by getting 3 chickens, because in the old days, Nana, everyone had 3 chickens in the backyard. Everyone did, even in the inner city, Auckland, where I live. So that was my first, and yeah, a lot of ups and downs with the hens. Some quite tragic things happened in the book, and some good things happened. I now, of course, I recently had up to 10, because one of my... Yeah, it's a long story. But I'm back to 6. You're allowed 6 in the city, and no roosters. I had to get 2 roosters killed on Sunday, which was not a great experience. But that's part of, you know, that's the interesting thing that I describe in the book, is when we got our first egg and no one wanted to eat it, because, you know, we could see the hen right out the window who'd just, like, popped it out her bum. You know? So, for city people who are used to buying everything neatly packaged with lovely pictures, it was quite... But it was an interesting exercise to start doing that sort of self-sufficiency and getting back to that kind of approach to food.
And a hint for people that do have hens at the moment, what do you feed your hens to produce these lovely eggs? What's one of the best things you can do?
Alfalfa sprouts are great for making the eggs really yellow. Their treats are sultana, but I also feed them a lot of linseed, or flaxseed it's also called, because that improves the omega-3 in the egg, so it makes it a really good health food. So your flaxseed and alfalfa sprouts are my main little additives to their general feed.
That's the trick. It's the key there. Try it. Now, Wendyl, you talk a lot also in this book about the lovely times that you spend by yourself in your caravan, and what a treat that must be. And I know that you know, telling women out there to try and get some time to yourself as well. Yeah,
I found that really important, and it seems to resonate with every woman I talk to. We are incredibly busy, and I say to them, go back to when you were 20 and get that picture of yourself when you were 20. And we all have it, because when we go on a diet, we always get it out. You know,
we do.
Because we're always really hot in our 20s. But I don't want you to go on a diet, but just look at and remember the hopes and dreams you have, because we get busy. We get husbands and children and mortgages and careers, and we forget about us, and we forget about the things we actually wanted to do when we were 20. And I encourage all women to sort of go back, find the time, and actually do what you were actually wanting to do in those days. And then you start to feel a lot better about all the other things in your life, because you're actually spending time with yourself and fulfilling yourself. It's a bit like the oxygen mask in the aeroplane, you know, put it on yourself before your children. I believe that, you know, spare time on your own is that oxygen mask.
We all need it, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we talk about a couple of recipes, because I know that you're very big on your skincare as well.
Yes.
What's your best, what's that magic cream? The
magic night cream.
The magic night cream, I love the name.
You do smell like a salad dressing, that's my little warning. It basically is a salad dressing. It's apple cider vinegar, organic if you can get it, and olive oil mixed together with a little bit of water into an emulsion, and it really does smell a bit like, you can put lavender oil to make it smell a bit better, but honestly, you put it on your face, you wake up in the morning, your skin is so soft, and it's a really natural, good cream to use instead of my problem with a lot of the commercial beauty products is they have a lot of additives, preservatives, things in there that don't really need to be there. I'm not anti-chemicals. I mean, water and salt and everything's a chemical. What I'm against is people putting things in products and not telling us. So,
and they do that a lot.
Oh, food and beauty products and cleaners. They've got a lot of stuff in them. We don't know what's in them. They're there to make them last longer, to do things that we don't really need them to do. And the worst thing is we're not told they're in there. So we don't even have a choice. And that's what I'm trying to fight against is, you know, be open, give me an ingredients panel that I can understand and I'll buy your product. So I really don't buy anything if I don't understand what's in it.
And you've got a great trick actually that women can try to kind of test their own products and see whether or not they'll grow mould.
Yeah.
So that's a good indication that it's pretty good.
Yeah, well I use a lot of Weleda, W-E-L-E-D-A, and I use their rose and calendula cream, and I did this test. I put it out on the windowsill for 2 weeks and it went mouldy. That's great, because it means it hasn't got all these nasty preservatives in it to make it last 2 years on the shelf. So, yeah, it's a really good test. And you know, just making... I met an 80-year-old woman who looked like she was 60. All she used every night was apricot oil on her face. It's, you know, $7.99 for a 200ml bottle made by Healtheries. And, you know, it's as simple as that. Just actually thinking, what would Nana have used? And they used things like cold cream and very basic... mind you, they didn't look that great, I have to say. But they stayed out of the sun.
Their skin looked good,
you know, because they all wanted their rosy complexion. So they actually had a lot right about skincare, and nothing will get rid of wrinkles. You know, if you think something's going to, it's not. All that will get rid of wrinkles is stay out of the sun and don't smoke.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's really easy to just make your own.
Now, tell me a little bit about your business, because whilst you've been trying to live a bit of, you know, a stressless life, it's kind of turned the corner now.
Yeah, I had this wonderful life where I potted around like a nana and made little products, and then someone encouraged me to start making them. So I sell them on my website, and I'm in a lot of retail stores, including Binnan over in New Brighton, and I have to give a plug for them. They've organised an event for me tonight at the Grace Vineyard Church. $2 entry, and I'm going to be making some products and talking to the audience about it. But yeah, I have a website, Wendyl's Green Goddess, and I sell the products on there. But I also have a newsletter I send out every week. It goes to 5,000 women, mainly women, where I share recipes and sort of try and keep the message going. And it's got a big following. It's really interesting. A lot of women are really starting to think about it. And even if they just make one change, even if they just change one of the creams they use on the face or one of the ways they clean their house.
And I think after reading this book, you can't help but want to make many changes. So that's the brilliant thing about this book.
Great. Look, if you make one change, that'll be great. I've won you over.
A Home Companion, My Year of Living My Life Like My Grandmother by Wendyl Nissen. It's a fantastic book. Some great tips and advice in there. You will absolutely love it. So make sure that you pick up this copy. And good luck for tonight in New Brighton, Wendyl.
Thank you, and happy birthday. Have a good night.
Thank you. We're going to go and decorate the cake now.